What's up, everybody? Supercar Street Racing here on a beautiful Tuesday, and today we are going to be doing an oil change on the 2011 Honda Accord. This is the daily driver, and it is due for an oil change. This car actually has really low miles on it. I bought it with 13,000 miles on it a year ago, about a year and a half ago, and currently it's sitting at 24,000 miles. So 2011 Accord with 24,000 miles, the car was hardly ever driven. So what we're going to do is go over the steps to changing the oil in this car, some of the tools that you're going to need, and how much oil and oil filter type you're going to need to get. Now, your best bet is obviously going to be to check the sale papers, because your local auto parts store is going to be putting out a flyer probably once every couple of weeks with oil change specials. Those specials are going to have 5 quarts of oil usually with a oil filter, and usually you can get a full synthetic oil change for around $30 if you do it yourself. If you compare that to going to Jiffy Lube or one of the other establishments, they will charge you up to $50 or $60, and that's only up to 5 quarts. If you hold more than that, they charge you a ridiculous amount per quart. So definitely doing an oil change on your own is the way to go. You're going to need some basic things to do that. We'll go over that here in just a minute. But the first step is going to be, let's head to the auto parts store, see what they got. Over here at Advanced Auto Parts, because their stupid website will not allow you to add the coupon or actually add the oil change combo from online, so we got to go in here to get it. So I missed a 25% off coupon. Let's go see what they have in here. That's the one right there. See if we can get this going now. Got everything we needed for the oil change. Got some 0W20 oil, which is recommended by Honda, right here. So I can not cover up the screen. Got the oil filter, and also got some engine degreaser. I'm going to go ahead and detail the car today. It's going to take me a while to change the oil and detail it, but this car needs to be washed and detailed today. It's been too long, and I never let my cars go this long without oil change. It's a shame to say that it's been probably 5 months and probably a little over 3,000 miles, but I never let them go that much. I usually do 3 months max. So when we get back to the house, we'll go over everything you're going to need to change the oil. Alright, everybody, sorry for the cluttered up workbench here. I still got this roll bar I'm trying to get shipped out for selling, but here is everything you're going to need for your oil change. I actually have some leftover oil, so I'm going to use leftover oil rather than the brand new oil that I just got. I'll put this in the shelf over there for safekeeping for later. You're going to need your oil filter here. It's a brand new Purolator oil filter. You're going to need an oil filter wrench. I bought this specific wrench for the Honda. Fits right on there. Uses your socket right on top of there like that. You're going to need for the Accord 4-cylinder, and I believe the V6 uses the same thing. It's a 17mm socket. This might give you some issues because it hits the oil filter, but I think you can still get it on there because it's a deep well. So that's all I have. You're also going to need towels. I recommend a good dirty towel plus some paper towels to clean everything up. And most important thing is, right underneath my Sawzall here, you're going to need this drain system. Now keep in mind, these are terrible and they leak like crazy, and that one appears to be almost full, so I don't know if I'll actually get all of it in there without it overflowing. But yeah, see this part? It leaks no matter what you do, so that's why it's in this bin. So these are all the things you're going to need for your oil change. Oil filter, oil filter wrench, 17mm socket or wrench, ratchet, and 4.2 quarts of oil for the 4-cylinder Honda Accord, and this is a 2011 Accord. So you're going to want to make sure you have a good set of ramps and jack stands. Trust me, you don't want to be caught under your car and one of these bad boys collapses, even though it's very unlikely. This is your safety net here, these jack stands. So what you want to do is run these jack stands up under the car after you roll the car up on the ramps. Take your jack stands, push them all the way up against the tire as far as you can get them under there, like that. It's right in the center though. Give them a good push so they stick. Right in the middle, like that. Make sure they're straight. Align straight with the tires. Go ahead, get in the car. That one looks like it might be a little bit off. Double check. Yep, that one's off a little bit. Put it back that way a little bit. Looks better. I think that's better. Go ahead, start the car, drive it up on the jack stands. Car is up on the jack stands now. Put your emergency brake. That wheel looks good. And that wheel looks good. Next, take your jack stands. Put them up under the jack point there. And just perfect. That way if something happens, it'll fall on the jack stands and not you. Same with the other side. Up front as close as you can. It's about as good as it's going to get right there. Go ahead and pop your hood. Let the engine start cooling off. Got the hood pop now. Motor is very hot from driving home from work. Gonna let this cool off for now. Take off the oil drain plug, let it fall right into the top of this drain bucket, and of course you're going to have to adjust your drain bucket. This is why I have the pan here underneath. Look at that dark oil coming out. This little pan's kind of hanging down, or a little cover, engine cover. So it's going to take a while to drain out, and as it drains, it's going to really be straight underneath the flow. So I'm just going to pull that back. It's going to take a good at least 10 or 15 minutes to drain. It'll help if you take off the engine cap, oil cap, as then the engine can breathe better. Go ahead and take off the oil cap. Let it drain a lot better under there. So that's going to drip for a little bit. I'll let that go ahead and drip, and then I'll take off the oil filter. Now you want to prep your new oil filter for installation on the car. A lot of people fill this with oil before they put it on. I never have done that in my entire life, but you want to make sure that you put oil around the O-ring there so that it the gasket, so that it seals good. If you feel like it and your oil filter is in a position where you can do this, if your oil filter is not straight upside down, you can't do this because it'll dump all over you. But you can fill your oil filter with some oil if you feel paranoid about that getting to the motor. A lot of people think, oh, it's going to dry start. I've never had an issue in 30 years of oil changes with not putting oil in an oil filter, knock on wood. So that's how you get your oil filter ready for installation. Alright, as you can see, there's no more oil draining on here. I'm going to get this drain plug out of here, right there. I'm going to clean that up, put it back into the drain plug and tighten it fairly tight. Don't use a torque wrench on it, but you'll know how tight is tight. Get it snug, and then maybe like a quarter of a turn if you can after that. Alright, I got the drain plug all back in right here. Drain plug is back in place. Going to clean that area up. Make sure there's no oil left on there to burn off. Now I'm going to remove that oil filter. About to take the oil filter off. Got to get your oil filter wrench. Get the new oil filter. Got the oil filter wrench right here. Got my drain vat ready to go. Goes right on the end of this ratchet like this. Now it's not going to be very tight because when you put oil filters on, you hand tighten them. But oil is going to come out of this when you remove it. Don't have your face underneath it. Get your drain ready for it. And it's going to get on your hand for sure. And it's very hot. Had a little spillage over here on the driveway. So I'm going to try to get that up ASAP before it soaks in. So yeah, it's going to make a mess when you have these like this. Go ahead and let it fall into your drain. And just know that you are going to get dirty doing this part. That's what I got the old towel here for, so I don't get oil all over the driveway. Although I did spill a tiny amount, I usually don't. But I super failed that time. Oh yeah, I did get it everywhere. Go ahead and wipe it up as soon as you can so it doesn't soak into the concrete, but pretty much it'll stain once it's on there. Yep, I got a little bit on the driveway. I can get that off with acid though. Now it's continuing to drain out, so you want to get your new oil filter in there. Now, your new oil filter, just remember, it's supposed to be hand tight. I'm using this because it's so slippery, but that's plenty right there. That gasket seals everything. You don't need to go crazy on it. Okay, don't forget to retighten your drain plug. So this one needs to be quite a bit more tight than your oil filter. Just like that. Good enough. Still some oil dripping. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe off everything up here that got coated in oil. Go ahead and keep your vehicle as clean as possible. Keep the underside of this looking brand new like mine is. Some oil got all in here. Go ahead and wipe all that off. Next step is to fill the car with oil. I don't recommend this, but I am using different kinds of oil and different weights of oil. It's your call. I don't have an issue doing this at all, never have. I'm going to be using 2 quarts of this and 2 quarts of Mobil 1, but they're both full synthetic. Helps to have a nice funnel. So like I said, hate on me, flame in the comments, whatever you want to do, but I'm going to be mixing oils for the sake of using what I have left over. Here's my funnel. Those funnels are really cool that screw into the top of the oil thing right there. They make a threaded funnel, which is awesome. So be back to pour the oil in. Got the funnel in there. The Accord takes 2.4 quarts of oil, and here comes the fire truck coming by. Wow. So this is 2 quarts. I can see in the marking here that it has 2 left. Go ahead and put this 2 in. There's 2 quarts there. So the recommended oil for this car is 0W20. This is all full synthetic oil. There's 3 quarts. Also helps to have a nice trash can handy for all this. Mine is actually in the back. And here is the 4th. All right. Go ahead and put your oil cap back on. Next thing we're going to do is run the car off the ramps. Go ahead and remove your jack stands. Key to a good clean shop is always replacing your tools so you have them for next time. Of course, this one's being a pain. I'll get stopped, one sec. Have to pull on that lever to get that one out. Now, go ahead and take the car off the jack stands. Sorry, off the ramps. Doing this, check for an oil pressure light or anything irregular. Everything looks good on the inside of the car. Just gonna quickly look underneath. For any leaks, that is the air conditioning system dripping there. I don't see any oil leaks, but that pan is really hanging down. I'm gonna have to fix that. Next thing we're gonna do is check the oil. Next thing we're gonna try to do here is make sure we got the correct oil level in here. This is supposed to hold 4.2 quarts, and I put in just about 4. Let me grab some napkins real quick, some towels. Alright, got my paper towels here. Gonna check this oil level. See what's going on, if we got enough in here. Like I said, I put in 4, it calls for 4.2. And doesn't look like there's enough oil in there on one side, but I'm gonna go ahead and double check that and I'll be right back. Okay, it looked like it was a little low, so I went ahead and added 0.2 of a quart, and I think that's gonna do it. Go ahead and clean up any spills you have here so it doesn't burn off the engine. And of course, very important is your cleanup effort. Get all your tools together. Make sure you clean all your tools. Put all your tools back together in their right places. And that should do it for the 2011 Accord oil change.